So today we are going to discuss about the daily monitoring checks. So daily monitoring activities here. So daily monitoring checks. So which is called the system health checks. Especially every basis consultant. So during the initial days, we need to perform the production systems monitoring daily. Daily, sometimes every 3 shifts, we have to perform the monitoring activities of the our production systems. Our production systems, we need to perform the monitoring activities. We have to perform it daily monitoring checks. So which means, so what are the monitoring checks we have to perform and what actions we have to take it out here, right? So every day, as soon as you join the shift, you need to log into the production systems here. You need to log into the production systems. Then we need to perform the daily monitoring activities. So suppose if it is the above systems, the first one we need to go to the ST22 is there is a checklist. Normally every company they will follow the one checklist here, daily monitoring checklist. In the checklist, they have the list of transaction codes and what they have to perform. There is a checklist. So I will share the checklist. So you guys can perform the same in the our systems as well here, right? So in the checklist, the first transaction code, normally there are the common transaction codes are available for the daily monitoring here. So first one is the ST22 above runtime errors, above runtime dumps. We can check it out here. The first one above runtime dumps. So we have to log into the system, select the ST22, then it will provide the runtime errors here. Runtime errors. So runtime errors means, so are there any critical errors in the last 24 hours? So which you have to check it out here. So if you go to the, so yesterday there are the some runtime errors. Data set cannot close, data set, some SAP star user, TMS ADM user, and the basis user. They are the some errors here, right? So these errors, if those things are daily, it is repeating. Today also there is some two errors here, right? Call functions end error. So there are the some errors here, right? So these are the some temporary errors. Sometimes these are the temporary errors. So we can investigate. DBSQL error means it's a database related error. So definitely we need to take the action. Why this is the error here, right? So there is a deadlock is happened in the database level here. Deadlock. See here. So there is a error occurred while accessing the table at the DB level. There is a deadlock happened. This is the process ID. So deadlock means what? Deadlock means the two guys at the same time they are trying to access the one table, they're trying to edit it. The time the deadlock will happen. Why? Because there is a lock the resource with the other process. Other guy has been chosen a deadlock as a victim, right? So which means the table has been locked. So this type of issues, if this type of errors are frequently, it is repeating daily, then what we can do, we need to restart the system database level, right? Why? Because deadlocks, we cannot cancel it in the non-HANA databases. Only thing is we need to cancel, restart the system that will help to clear the deadlocks. So only two errors are occurred. If the errors are repeating multiple times, daily it is repeating, so last few days onwards it's repeating, then there is a issues. So we can filter it out. Suppose the example 21st to till date, what are the how many errors are occurred in the system? Just remove the user, the particular user, you can remove it. Click on the execute. You can see they are the runtime errors. In that one DB SQL error, one call function send error. So you can see the errors here, right? You can see the errors here. There are a lot of errors are occurred since 21st to till date. So which means we need to investigate it. So if we have to in the check, we have to mark as ST22, we have to mark as red, and we need to separately we have to investigate it. Why this error are occurred here? In that, what are the frequent errors? So data set cannot close errors here. So what is this data set cannot close error here? So which means there is a, if you open the dump here, there are the clues here. The file in this directory could not be closed by the operating system. There are the resource bottleneck. Something like capacity limit has been reached. So as per my understanding, during the TP configuration, someone doing the some configuration, someone doing something. So there is a the TP process capacity limit is over. So that is the reason So there is a lock is happened with the profile. So what they have to do, so maybe they can try now, still they are facing the issues here. We can check the TP process at operating system level. Then we need to manually cancel the error by checking this analysis and everything. We can check. Sometimes if you are unable to fix the issue, then we can export the dump, we can print the dump, we can save the dump, and we can report to the SAP. So SAP can help us to fix this type of errors here. What is this, sir? Why? Because sometimes this type of frequent errors cause the system down situation, system performance issues. So we need to check ST22 is the first transaction code. Then SM21, we need to check the system logs. In the system logs, in SM21, we can check are there any critical errors in the system? Critical errors in the system log, are there any critical errors in the system? We need to check it out here. So it will give you the clear. So something like system time zone, there is a one issue. There is a high priority issue like basis is reorganizing the TRFC tables here, right? You see, there is a frequently there is a issues here, right? Basis is reorganizing, some errors, we have frequent errors, so we need to investigate why this is happening here, which user, which job is causing. So then, so the time zone issue, see, time zone also is not matching here. So there are a lot of things here, see, there are many more errors here, right? There is a basis is reorganizing. What is that exact? A authorized user as used for the TRFC monitor in SM58. So SM58, there is a entry got stuck. Because of this reason, so we are getting this error here. So we need to check what is the job. Why? Because the work process is the BTC. So what is the job which is causing the issue? What is the foreground? So this is the foreground, right? Then we can go to the SM37. So then this foreground related jobs, we need to check what job which is causing the issue, right? Go to this job, just check are there any, are there any jobs here regarding this program RSARFC ER. There is a program which is executing by jobs. When the job is running, we are getting the critical errors in the system logs. So only that error we can see it here. So if you check that error, if you check that job, what that job is doing, maybe if the job is not doing, it's not required, then we can so unschedule it. We can unschedule it the job here. Means we can delete the job or we can change the status or report, whatever it may be, we can do that one. So like that, we need to do the investigations. See, with the program name, I am filtering what is the job which is causing the issue. So it is pulling the data. See, there's a lot of data. So since from date to date, there is no, if I have not mentioned any filters here. So it is grabbing the data from the system, which is grabbing the system from data here.
Sir, we can ignore network and OS error in logs, right?
Yeah, we can also ignore it. So that will not cause any errors. But if sometimes what happens, the errors are frequently repeating. Someday, one day, system will block it. Someday, system will go to the hung status or something because of this error. Then immediately, the client or someone you are seeing from past few days onwards, this error is repeating. You guys are not taking any action in the system because of this reason, so your system got down, there is a business impact is happened in the system that time. So we are in the situation to answer, right, why you have not taken the answer and everything. So to avoid that kind of escalations or issues, so then we have to take the action, system locks and everything here. So the next one, we need to check the SM50. So work process overview. In the work process overview, we need to check are there any, in the work process overview, so we need to check are there any work process are in the private mode or hold status are running from long time. So that we will come to know here. That we will come to know from the system here, right? So here, if we go to the SM50 transaction code, here you can see, so out of 6 work process total, 1 work process is free, which is some kind of dangerous status here. Some kind of dangerous status here. See, something is happening in the system. So nothing is displaying here. See, out of 6, only 1 is free. So something is running from longer time. So then you can check the SM50, SM66 for the for the work process information. Hey, what's happening in the system? Who is doing what? See, nothing is happening here. So someone maybe they are doing the client copies or something. It blocked all the resources or some corruption is happening, I think. See, this type of issues will happen. If you don't check regularly, this type of things happen when the real users, business users join. If they face this type of issues, then they cannot run, they cannot store any business data, right? So then immediately they will go for the escalation. Immediately they will escalate it. They will go for escalations. So then it will come to again us only here. So something is happening in the system here. So let's take NW1 for now. So SM50. So here also same. So which means what's happening here? Maybe GUI, sometimes GUI. Let's take the visual design, theme settings, quad theme. Then let's make it to the signature theme. Okay. Let's close all. When I go to SM50, now let's see. Yeah, now you can see the screen is opening. So there is a theme issue. So here, out of 6, 3 are free. Only 3 are free. Remaining are running by SAP. Someone is running something. Say the long duration. Something is running by undeclined basis user. Someone is running the some program or something they are running from. So this many times here, right? One more user is logged in here, right? One background job also started here. So then it is on hold status. It is on hold status, which is running here, right? So this way we can find out what's happening in our system and everything. This way we can find out here, right? So this is a SM50, SM66. We can find out. So how the work process are behaving here. If all are running status, so none of users cannot log in. So minimum 1 or 2 should be free status. Then only users can log into the system. So for now it's okay. But one is the hold status. It's hold for some other things to be finished here. If any work process go to the private mode, then that time there is a dangerous option. Private mode means it's a so lack of memory issues here. Lack of memory issues are the private mode here. So SM50, SM66, we can check the work process status and everything. Then SM13 is the transaction code to check the update records, to check the update records, if any failed update records, if any update records, if any failed ones. If we go to the SM13 here, SM13, then you can go to the SM13, then just go to here, just click on the here, then you will come to know the update records, if any failed records are there in the last 24 hours or anywhere. So you can see there are the failed records are there here, right? So then you need to take the screen capture and you need to inform to the respective users or functional team. They will take care of the action. Client team, they will take care of the action here. And also SM14, we can check the status of the update, whether the update is active or not. If the update is deactivated, you know what will happen here, right? So update is deactivated, you know what will happen here. SM14, we can check the status here. Then SM12, the lock entries. SM12, we can check the lock entries here. So if you go to the SM12, here we can find out the here, are there any old lock entries which are older than 24 hours lock entries? So nothing is there in the SAP system. There are no lock entries in the system. So which means So their system is green. So no lock entry. Sometimes it will give you the older than 24 hours lock entries. So sometimes it will give you the older than 24 hours. So the lock entry is here, which means, so those lock entries will cause the issue. Select the system, select the lock entry, we can delete it. We can delete the lock entries, but approval has to be taken. Before deleting, you need to take the approval from the your management saying that, so these lock entries are older than 24 hours. We are going to remove it. So please approve it. Then they will approve it. Then we can remove the this lock entries here. So like that, we have the transaction codes, so we can check it out here. So not only this one, we have the many things like we can check the SM58, check if any, yesterday's one, check if any the failed TRFCs. Also, SMQ1, SMQ2 also we need to check queues, inbound queues and outbound queues. We have to check it out here, right? So these things we need to check it in the systems here, SM58, to check are there any failed So are there any failed transactional RFCs are there in the system or not? Yes, one entry is there. So try to reprocess. If nothing is there, then inform to the functional team. If they asked you to delete it, select it, then you can go to the reorganize, then you can delete the failed entry. Sometimes they does not require that entry, then we can remove it. And also you can check the SMQ1. Are there any inbound and outbound queues here? Nothing is there, nothing stuck, everything is green. Then SMQ2. Also check here, are there anything is stuck? Nothing is there. Everything is green. So it is everything is green here. So nothing to check here. So all are green status here, right? So then we can mark it as a green, 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 only lock entries. I can see some of the work pros are the red status here. So we need to create the tickets. So we have to investigate it here, right? So these and all the things will comes under the daily monitoring. Every day we need to log into the our SAP systems, our production systems. So all the production systems, whatever the production systems we have, then we need to execute these transactions so that the results will come. The results we need to track into the results we have to track into the in one Excel sheet. Then that Excel sheet we need to provide to the customer here, right? Apart from that, we have the some other transaction codes called the SMICM to check the ICM ports and everything here, ICM ports and everything in the SMICM. So also we can check the so SM37 long running background jobs in if anything here long running. So the BTC jobs. Sometimes the jobs are running from long time, it will cause the system performance issues as well here, right? You can go to the SM37. So then you can check are there any long running jobs which are running from the last to 24 hours or older than 24 hours. So just remove the dates, only filter the active, just click on the execute button, then check if any job is running from longer time here. See here, this job is running from very longer time here. So this job also every event periodic. There is a event Z test one that is running, then immediately this event periodic job is running here, right? So then this job also running here. So this is also daily it is running here. So these jobs are running from longer time. So that is completed. So but only this job is there here. But this job is frequently it is running. Frequently it is running. So which means something wrong with this custom job. We can make it to the scheduled status. So due to the status, we cannot make it this one. So maybe if you select the released one, see these jobs are frequently these are creating the modifiable status. See immediately that is running immediately. So which means something wrong with this job. Someone playing the games in the system. So frequently this is running. Let's see how frequently it is running. Why? Because this is the event periodic. This is the events. So what is this event? Who scheduled this back job one? Anyone scheduled from your side? Anyone? Who will tell here? No one tell. Who scheduled means. Okay. I think there are a lot of jobs are running in the system. They are crashing the system.
We can suspend the jobs, right? VTC term.
See, it is pulling the lot of data from the system level. So this type of things will cause the system down situation, system performance issues and everything. If you do it here, that is fine. If you do it in the real time, definitely you will be out of the project. I'm sure. Okay. So don't do it this type of things in the real time. So real time definitely they will point you. So carefully you need to perform all the things here. So only upon the approval and this procedure only you need to check all those things here. Okay. So that is the long running jobs. We can check it out. If any long running jobs, we need to cancel, we need to inform and we need to cancel. Why? Because it will cause the performance issues in the system. So SMICM ports, we can check it out. If you go to the SMICM, we go to the SMICM is the transaction code. So in the SMICM, we can see the ports, HTTP ports or HTTPS ports. We can see it here, the ports. So these ports are very important here. Sometimes the ports will go inactive status. The users who are using, you are connecting to your SAP system through browser, they will not able to connect to our SAP system because of the port is inactive status. Right? So we are now, you are not only using the SAP GUI. Sometimes some people they will use the so GUI URLs also, they will use the URLs, browser based URLs, they will use it, then they will connect to the our systems, our SAP systems. So in that case, so we should carefully, we should check. So we can also log in and we can also execute the transaction code through browser also, we can do that one, right? So this is also one of the, so we need to check every day, check, go to the SMICM, is the ports related things. So services, go to and services, we can check the port activations and everything, we can see it here. So in case of deactivated, try to activate the port here, just try to activate the port, then the port will be activated here, right? If you want to configure the ports, there is a profile parameters, we have to change it. If you want to temporarily, you can do that one, just click on the create the port, then you can create the HTTP or HTTP, whatever the ports we have, the number of ports are there, you can configure the ports here, you can configure the, so ports you can configure it here, right? Then port will come to the active, but these are the dynamic changes. Permanently if you want to set it out, you need to change the profile parameters, you have to change it, that will go to the permanently only, that will do the permanent changes in the system and everything here, right? SMICM, there is a SMICM changes here. SMICM, ICM service, to handle the ICM will handle the browser based request. If you are connecting through browser, ICM will handle the browser based request, will handle it here. Then AL08, all users here. Check which user is having the high memory, they are causing the high memory and that thing we can find out here, which memory, which user and everything here. So this one we can find out the AL08, SM04, AL08 here, right? So that is the one thing we can find out in the systems here, right? So the second one, so SM background jobs and AL08, and also we can also check the, so tracing in ST01. So this is the, so the system trace. ST01 is for the system trace. Sometimes what happens, this is not the daily monitoring activity, but sometimes what the people will do, people will go for the ST01, the functional people, they will switch on the trace, then they will find, they will detect the issues here. This is the tracing related transaction codes here. They will enable the tracing. Suppose the existing ST22, SM21 logs are not enough to troubleshoot the issues, then what they will do, they will switch on the trace, then they will reproduce the issue, they will turn off, then sometimes they will forget to turn off, and they will do the analysis here, so then in this case what will happen sometimes, so if they don't turn off, right, they don't turn off, then immediately it will cause filling the data logs and away, because it will collect all the logs, so file system will be full that time. Sometimes the file system will be full here. See here, within fraction of seconds, we have traced the basis user, what happening here, then it caused the issues. This type of things it got created. See, basis user transaction ST. So what executed and what happened in the system. So what tables are it is referring here. So all the information it is reading. So it is giving the clear information, the tracing here, right? To troubleshoot the issue. This is for the troubleshooting the issues. This is for the troubleshooting the issues, and that kind of function purpose, ROGS purpose, we can use the ST01 trace analysis. Sometimes we need to check the whether trace is off or not. So normally this is not a daily monitoring, but some organizations they will mention as a daily monitoring activity here, trace on. The trace on as continuously, it will collect the logs, same as like what we have here, it will collect the logs, then it will push the data, it will collect the logs, then it will collect the logs, and so it will keep on filling the data and file systems and system performance issues, and it will cause all the things here. See, this is causing the system performance issues in the system, right? See, this is happening in the system, right? So that's why we can check the our system health checks. See, when you are checking one by one all the transaction codes, we detected many performance issues in the systems, right? So long running jobs, right? And also the errors, ST22 dumps, the any users, the multiple things we are detecting, right? So like this, so ST01, and also these are the performance related transaction code. ST01 is the one of the performance related transaction code, and this is the system trace, and ST02 also tune summary. This is the, here we can check the buffers, hit ratio, buffer status, buffer hit ratio, buffer space, all the hit ratio, and so buffer free space already occupied, and memory areas. Then all the check here, we can check that the memory areas here. We can check in the ST02 transaction code here. So ST02 transaction code very helpful here. Here SAP level we have the buffers here. So name buffer, program buffer, CA buffer, calendar buffer, there the buffers are available here. So their iteration will be displayed here. Normally, as per the SAP recommendation, the iteration should be 99 plus, at least so 96, 95 plus iteration here. What is iteration means? So normally when you are using the system, when you are using the system here, when you are using the system, so SAP is the three-tier architecture, right? So presentation layer, SAP layer, then database layer here, right? So SAP layer, database layer here, right? So here what will happen, you will connect from presentation layer to application server, then application server will connect to the database, that is fine here, right? So this one we know, this is the SAP is a three-tier architecture, but additionally SAP level, there are some buffers are available here. Buffers. Buffers, buffers contains the frequently the users accessed data. Frequently, the buffers contains the frequently accessed data contains in the buffers. Frequently accessed data it contains in the buffers here. So what will happen here? Once the user authentication is done, here, the first the request, suppose you are trying to execute the one transaction code, the transaction code data already exists in the buffers or not, it will check. Why? Because the frequently accessed data will be available in the buffers. So it will check and it will give you the, if it is there, then it will give the response back to the user. Why? Because that is already exists in the buffer, then it is hitting the buffer, it is pulling the data from the buffer, then it giving the response back to the user. Means speedily it is giving the response back to the user. Which means what type of data will be stored into the buffer means the frequently accessed data. The frequently accessed data will be stored into the buffers here, right? The frequently the accessed data will be stored into the buffers. So here, suppose you are executing the one transaction code, you are trying to execute the transaction code here, the transaction code is not available here. What it will do? So it is checking here, it is not there. Then it will go to the SAP database level, DB level, it will pull the data. Then once data is got it here, then one copy of data will be stored into the buffers. Then again, it will give the response back to the users here. So what is happening? First it is checking the time. What is it checking the data in the buffer? There is no data. then it is the new data which user is trying to access. Then it is going to the database level. It will check the data in the database level. It will pull the data definitely. Then it will give the why, because coming to here, from here to here, it is waiting, it is checking, means it will take some time, right? It is taking the time and it gives the response back to the user. So pulling the data directly from the buffer, your performance is good. Pulling the data from the database level, the performance is not good. So pulling the data from the data, the performance is not very good here. The performance so is not good here. So in that case here, what we can do, so buffer, we can check the how the system performance. By seeing the buffers, we will come to know, so 99% out of 100 requests, 99 requests are pulling the data from the buffer, then remaining requests are going to the database level, it is pulling the data here. That is what it's happening here. You can see the 99, all buffer iteration is 99. So means buffers are fine now. So buffers means programs related data, CA data, screen data, calendar data, OTR tables, there the multiple buffers are there. All the buffers related data is available here. It is pulling the data from the buffers here, right? Here, what is the it ratio, how much space KB is allocated for the each buffer, and what is the free. So and we can see the free percentage and swaps here. So here the swap should be 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. But if any buffer is more, it's coming the swap value is red, which means the buffer size is small here. See here, only 1 KB is left. We have the total KB 3000 KB, in that already occupied the remaining only 115 KB is left here. Very small MP. That is the reason we see the swaps here. So why the swaps occurs means, when the buffers are running out of the free space, then swaps will occur here. When the buffers are running out of the free space here, the swaps occur. We can check the what the history of the previous swaps here. So when it is started from the 15th, it is like a, so daily average 6,000 swaps are coming here, right? In this day, 14th and 15th means 19th and 18th and 19th, they're the high. Then in this date we have restarted, I guess. Then it is coming down again, it's coming up. Then restarts happened, maybe restart happened. So whenever you do the restart, the data will be flushed out from the buffer. New data will come. So there is no buffer filling option here, right? So that's why you see, whenever you, after you restart the system, when you log into the system, little bit slow sometimes. Why? Because recent reset happened. But now if you access any transaction code, it will be very fast. It will be very fast. Suppose if I go to the, suppose example, let's see, I will access the one of the sales transaction code, VL02 transaction code here. See how much time it will take here, right? See here how much time it will take it out. See, it is pulling the data. So now what is happening? The data is not there in the system. So maybe I will go to PA30. Okay. Say the functional related, very HR related transaction code. So this is going to see, checking the compilation and everything. See how much time it is taking now. What is happening here? It is checking in the database level. It is checking in the buffer. In the buffer level, we don't have any data. Then it is going to the database level. It is compiling. It is pulling the data from the database level. Why? Because we never executed this transaction code, right? Why? Because first time we are executing the functional transaction code. That's why. So it is taking time. Now see, still it is executing. We have not received the results from the system. Still it is compiling, and backend it is going to the buffer, checking in database level. It is pulling the data. It is pulling the data. Then it is pulling the data. Then finally you will get the results saying that, okay, this is the transaction code, like that. See, still it is pulling the data. Let's wait how much time it is taking, right? You got the entry. You got the entry here. So now you will come to know how much time it is taking the time here, right? So here we can see the response time, how much time taking. Now, if you execute the same transaction code again, you will get the immediate results. See, you got the immediate results in the system. Right? You got it, right? Immediate results you got in the system. How you got it immediately now? Because of the same data is exist in the same system. Now buffers are filled with the transaction code. That's why same data. Previously it's taken, I think almost 2 minutes it's taken, right? Now see, if I enter the transaction code, we are getting the immediate response. Because why? Because means here the buffers that frequently the whatever the data you are accessing, the frequently accessed data will be stored into the buffers. So that is the main priority of the buffers here. Tune summary buffers here. It ratio, free space, memory, all those things frequently accessed data will be stored into the buffers here. Right? That is the main thing here. Right? That is the main thing is day to day we need to log in and we need to see are there any swaps are occurring or not, are there any so free percentage is very less or not, we need to check, we need to plan to increase the buffers. Increase the buffers means there is a parameters only, check this one, then go to the current parameters here, just increase the parameter, everything system configuration if you want to change it you need to increase this parameter value, you need to increase it, go to the buffer value, then 3000 is there, just make it to the 5000 as per the recommendation, then you can increase it, then buffer value will be increased, then swaps will not occur. Also we can check the memory areas, there is a memory management separate topic, that way I will explain clearly what is this page memory, heap memory, extended memory, that percentage memory percentage also we can see it here. So extended memory, what is this extended memory? So this one I will explain it clearly, so don't worry. So here ST0 to N we can see in the tune summary buffers and everything here, right? So apart from that we have the ST03 or ST03 and transaction code. This is also daily monitoring transaction code only. Then workload analysis transaction code, workload analysis. So in case of if you want to do the troubleshooting why the system's response is very bad and very good, so then we can go to the ST02, ST03, then we can find out the workload data. ECD we have the data, right? Why it is saying that no data? Today, maybe if you see, maybe the standard jobs are not running, I guess. There are the standard jobs which are responsible for this load. So, might be the reason standard jobs are not running. So, then we can go to see other systems here. ST03 here. Schedule the standard jobs in the ECD system. Then we will get the load like this here. There are no standard jobs are not running. So, one of you guys, please schedule the standard jobs in the ECD system. Okay, so ST03 is the workload analysis, workload monitor. Here we can do the monitor of the workload of our system here, how it is behaving and all the information. We can see it here. We can check the workload analysis here, right? Daily, weekly, monthly, last 10 minutes, last 5 minutes. So monthly data, we can check it out here, what's happening in the system. All the information we can check it out here, right? So ninth month, what is the response time monthly? Why? Because this monthly, what are the response time and how it system is behaving. So last 24 hours response time we have to take it out as per the organizational. So then we need to take the last 24 hours data, means the dialogue response time. Only here we need to check the dialogue response time. Why? Because dialogue work process is responsible to take the user request, process the user load screens. So all those things here. So dialogue work process response time, we need to check it out here. So here you can see the response time, average response time. What is the milliseconds? So 1,442 milliseconds here, 1,442 milliseconds, right? If you convert to the minutes, it should not be more than minutes actually, right? More than 2 minutes. Some organization they will make 4 minutes, something like that. So monthly, daily, the average response time for the user is so this is this much of duration here. Here, how much CPU contribution, DB time contribution, wait time, are there any wait time is more? So wait time means waiting for the response, are those things will be displayed here. So you want to check what transactions are executed in the 21st. Just if you go to the transactional profile and if you see it here, you can see the what transactions are executed in the system. It will give you the clear picture here. Just you can pull the details from the ascending order or descending order here. You can see RSCLX cop. There is a client copy happened on the SAP star. Client copy happened in the system. So it got created the very high response in the system during that time, right? Clearly, it is giving the information what happened executed in the system, what job caused the issue, which user, which transaction code which caused the issues. Clearly, it displaying the all the load and everything here, right? If we go to the time profile, which time here? 9 to 10. 9 to 10, there is a high response in the 9 to 10. This is executed in the on the 9 to 10th hour. This transaction code is executed very longer hours here. Means someone did the client copy which executed the more here, right? So this way analysis, workload analysis. Suppose if you see the monthly wise, what is the time? So 9th to 10th hour fine, but whichever we have the high response time here. If I talk about the high response time here, if I talk about this one, only 9th to 10th hour, morning 9th to 10th hour, only this hour, maybe this is not the hour. So maybe this hour we have the very high response here. So if we go to the here, what executed in this time frame means we will come to know the spam executed, someone HTTP calls, HTTP URLs, DBA cockpit, some other ST03, some other ST, SOST. The multiple transaction codes has been executed here. In that, the top contributor is the spam is the transaction code which created the some noise here. These all are fine, very small milliseconds only the response time. Sometimes it's a very high, then we need to investigate what causing the issue and all the information. We need to check it out in the ST03 workload analysis. Okay, workload analysis is the transaction code here. We can find out the analysis of the system and everything here, right? So here we can find out the what causing the issue. So why?
Sir, 8,000 to 7 like that. If anything happens, more load is going on, right? Sir?
Yeah,
Like
if anything is more, then we need to check, we need to investigate what causing the this high response time. If you go to the transactional profile, what transactions are executed on that day? In that, what is the top job which is caused the high response? Why this job caused the high response? Who executed? This is a user executed. This is a background job. This job executed the very high response time is executed like that. We can investigate it here, right? So mainly the time profile, you can select the date. Then you can check the time profile and the transaction profile. Then you will come to know what happening in the system. So every day, so Friday, the 19th,
okay.
19th also there is a one report executed, LSMON report executed. This is executed by the basis user. So this is also caused the very high response time. Then we can take the top 10 contributors who are the, then we can find out the what caused the why you executed this transaction codes are expected behavior, then it's fine. It's expected behavior, this much of response we can find out. So, but we need to check why the data is only up to 20 only. What about the today is the 39? What about the 9 days data? 9 days data, what happened here? Then, so there is a one job, SM36. There is a one job, standard background jobs. The standard background jobs are responsible for the the data collections and everything here. The updating the history and everything. There is a job name is called the SAP. Yeah, these are the released and suspended status, suspended by our guys. That is the reason the load is not generating. So okay, I will not schedule it. You guys please do the scheduling. Release the jobs, all the standard jobs, please release it in the SM36 so that the data collection will happen. Data collection will happen in the systems. So that's what you have to do it in the systems. Okay. So like this, we have the some other DBA transaction code. It will take very longer time, DBA transaction codes. So you can practice for today. I will send the one monitoring sheets. You can practice it, all these transaction codes. And so we have the, it's not only this thing, we have the ST04 transaction code and ST05, then DBA cockpit, DB transaction codes are there for the, these all are the ST01, ST02, ST03, 4, 5, and ST06 are the performance related transaction codes, performance related. Then it's part of the daily monitoring only, but performance related transaction codes, these all are system performance. These all are the normal general daily we use it, this transaction code to check the status and everything here. So now I want that report, that job, why it is taking very longer time. Someone scheduled that event. So let me So there is a Z test, something event triggered by batch jobs. See, this is the job, I think. Used in the jobs. So we need to stop the jobs only. So job, event basis jobs. Go to SM37. Why? Because that is not getting stopped, that job. Keep on executing that job. I think every minute to minute it is executing, second to second it is executing. That's why it's taking very longer time.
Why we can't use a BTC TRNS1 and suspend the background job?
Yeah, we can
After-
suspend. We have to do that one. That is the next action item again. Why? Because while it's going to suspend it, immediately it is going to the running. It's running status. So it's not coming down. So what I can do here. So this is a job. Immediately, if I go to the suspend, so immediately that is releasing. It is creating the one more job. It is creating one more job. One more job is getting created. So when I go and click this button immediately that is releasing and it is going to create the one more job here. See?
Yes. Yes.
That's what happening. Then what we can do here, simple procedure, go to the SA38, then BTC TRNS1, you execute it, all the jobs are suspended here, right? See here, all the jobs are suspended. Now, so now we can find out this guy. So we can find out, so what, why. So now what we can do, now simply, so suspended. This job it won't run, right? I can also cancel this job. Then who scheduled this job? Event periodic. The parameter event periodic. This report is running here. But who scheduled the job? This one. So basis user only. Since we are all are using the basis user, so that is the reason basis user only. Done. Okay. Now release the standard background jobs. So the data collection will happen. So tomorrow we have the more workable data in the system. Why? Because the jobs will run. ECD NW1 system, please release the jobs. Okay.
So remaining daily monitoring T codes will check tomorrow, right?
Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah, definitely. Why? Because it's not one day task. We have the many T codes are there. Yeah, they will check it definitely.